Hey everybody, this is my boat Windjammer, 1970 Newport 41. We are actually doing a core repair because the deck house core, balsa core, was rotten. So last year we did the back half of it, and this year we're doing the front half, but I figured I'd try to show you guys how we decided to do it. Um, so we laid out a grid pattern which is going to be the non-skid. It's going to be a raised area over the normal deck. Just give it channels for water to drain and everything. So here we're marking out what an inch inside of where the non-skid is going to be at. So we'll cut that out and you'll see that in the next clip. And as you can see, my dad's over there. He's still cutting the starboard side of the deck house top panels off. And here I am I've got all the port side done in the front one. I'm trying to pry up this panel, and I keep grabbing the wrong tool. That's why you see me leave and come back. But the best tool for this job to pry up, or just a whole deck repair, would be a hose removal tool, flathead screwdriver, and a multi-tool, and obviously a vacuum to clean up shop vac. So use that multi-tool, you get around the edges pretty good, and once you do that, you can use your hose removal tool, get in there, and flathead screwdriver to pry it up just a little bit, and then you're going to use some pry bars to lift it up the rest of the way. Once you get it up, ours actually popped off pretty easy, as you can see there, and you can see all the lovely rotten core on the inside. So yeah, just use a hose removal tool and you're able to get into the crevices a little bit easier. I also use a multi-tool to loosen up the wet balsa from the top and bottom layer. You just run that blade against the top of the fiberglass and the bottom of the fiberglass, and then you use your hose removal tool, and it typically pulls it out pretty easy. And then as long as the balsa core isn't too chunky or too thick, you can actually use a vacuum or a shop vac to remove it. But using that multi-tool definitely loosens it up and helps make the process a lot easier. But this is honestly one of the worst parts of it, removing all the balsa core. And you want to make sure that you get in the crevices really well. Make sure that there's no remaining balsa core left. said, that multi-tool is just definitely helps out a ton when it comes to this process. So in the next video or next area, I clean off the top layer of what we removed. So we're going to use an angle grinder to go over the top panels and remove all the fiberglass, or not fiberglass, but the balsa core that was on those. And once you got a clean surface, basically you just want to get all the balsa off to where you're down to raw fiberglass, so you're able to adhere to it with the West Systems epoxy. And this is just your simple sanding floppy disk. And this is a finished product right there. You see the raised fiberglass, and then this is once we got it all, the balsa core cleaned out. And you can see there all the tools I use: the 2 pry bars, the hose removal tools, the multi-tool. Those are the best tools that I found. And then once you get it all out, you vacuum it up and, clean up the boat at the end of the day. So here are some of the photos of the product, or how we go about doing the whole core removal. So there's a photo of rotten core. So we removed all that, put foam in the corners, put foam in the middle, adhered it with West Systems, and then put the skin back on top and made fiberglass panels for the top of it that fit the shape that we wanted. And then we primed it, and that was it. I'll go over the other 2 steps of this, or other steps, in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.